Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in a little bit more in depth on the release of denial in narcissistic relationships. I had received a question from a viewer about the use of denial and how this has basically stunted her evolution and growth moving forward. So I definitely want to address that and what are the key components into releasing that so that you can really expedite your healing. And one thing I do want to make note is I've also received some correspondence from viewers suggesting that their comments were deleted or their subscriptions were deleted, and they had written me in the message box as to what was going on with this. And from my knowledge, that if you do not actively write a comment or do a like on a video, it is interpreted, I guess, by the YouTube algorithms that it's like an inactive channel for you, and so they might release your subscription or delete your subscription. So if you're watching the videos, just to make sure your subscription is kept active, just go ahead and put like a thumbs up or make a comment that says, I get it, I relate. It doesn't have to be, you know, a long paragraph or anything of that nature, but I think that might help. And then likewise, sometimes you need to refresh the website. Someone had also noticed that like some of the video was not picking up or too slow, so sometimes you do need to refresh on that. And that is up to YouTube. That has nothing to do with my channel or me affecting the speed of anything. So now getting on to the role of denial and how to really understand and how to release that. Number one, you need to realize that we oftentimes keep these abusive relationships in place actively unbeknownst to us. I had a viewer who very poignantly stated that she's moving forward from a relationship that she's been in for 12 years. So suffering for a good amount of that. That is very difficult, very debilitating. It really causes one to regress quite a bit. And you know, sometimes we go through what is known in the psychological community as denial. It's a pushing down, it's a repressing, it's an ignoring of that little voice that something is wrong. We need to deal with this, we need to attend to this, we need to do something about this. And things, you know, one day goes to the next. We get busy with our lives, things are hectic, we have children, you know, they need attending to, they need their activities. We have busy schedules, we're trying to go on, you know, and continue with a professional life, a personal life, things of this nature. So things get kind of like swept under the rug or ignored, or what is known in the psychological community as denial. And this eventually gets pushed down, and then the longer, really, the number of years that is engaged in this denial, the deeper the denial becomes, and really the more it possesses a person, and the more is the cause for really being locked into an old way of thinking, an old way of behaving, an old way of feeling. So, you know, to release that and to really kind of lift up that burden, one has to realize that being able to face and knowing really what is a relationship for you, what is nurturing for you, what is serving you, what is energizing for you, and then also likewise identifying the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors which are not supportive for you, the relationships that are not relationships, that are stealing, being able to identify the relationships, rather identifying them as a bond, more or less, that is essentially taking, you know, energy away from you. And a viewer had described this as emotional vampire, and that's a very astute way to put it, because the relationships really do take away your energy. They really do take away. They really tend to drain people. And so, and I've discussed this in previous videos, where it's very important to really look at the activities, endeavors, the thoughts, and see which actually serve you and which ones really do kind of take away or do not serve you. And once you can really learn to articulate this and get good at it and identify the relationships, the thoughts, the feelings which are not energizing to you, because relationships can be this way, thoughts can be this way, emotions the same way. So learning really which pile they're gonna fall in, and then get rid of and let go and release those relationships, those bonds that aren't serving you. Letting go the behaviors, letting go the organizations that aren't serving you, that aren't powering you, that aren't putting you in touch with your strength, that aren't energizing you. That is a very good way to learn to really identify what is productive in your life and what is destructive in your life, and the courage to know the difference. I believe there's something called a serenity prayer, but that line, the courage to know the difference. In other words, it takes a lot of courage to say, you know what, I'm outgrowing this, or this is no longer serving me, and I'm now have the wisdom to let it go, to release it, to no longer hold it in denial. Because as you hold on to something which is not serving you, you're perpetuating that. You're keeping that alive. And if you keep that old sort of mentality alive, it's still working to go against you rather than serve you. So letting it go, which is an emotional process. Letting go, in other words, knowing what is not serving you and then releasing it, not further engaging in it, not further thinking about it, not further giving your power over to it. So it's really a multi-step process. But I hope that clarifies your question about denial and how to release it. And if you have any other questions, just please feel free to type in the comments section below, and I'd be happy to address them for you. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.